Hi, please. I needed your company for the learn English today to read the history of football from Page Concepto. Nice. Okay, got it. History of football. We explain everything about the story of football. Is the organism it is variation in different cultures. We also cover the best player in history. What is the history of the football? Football is the most popular sports in the world. His played virtually for every country, which come together every 4 years to complete in the World Cup and they maintain their various regular leagues all throughout the year. It's estimated a football has around the 250 million players worldwide, and that mobilizing approximately 1.8 billion interested parts and fans across the globe is the one of the Olympic sports, and its international governing body is International Federation Association Football or FIFA. The ancient origins is sports uncertainly, but a similar sport was practiced in China in the third century BC. In this remote precursor of the football, the soldiers of the Han Dynasty practiced an exercise called Daos Ku, also called Lu Yu or Su Chu, which considered the kick at the ball into a small net. In the zone variation, the players had the well defending against physical attacks from opponents. Century later, web participants more similar to modern subs, as the Japanese kekemari of the more ceremonial type in the which at the bat had be kept in the air from as long as possible passing between players without using near hats. There were also Western variants such as the Greek Epicarius and the Roman Asparium, about which very little information in available. It's the know today that insert Mesopotamian people practices something similar called puck a puck some 30,000 years ago, and the Native Americans did the same although they call it Patsuakowang. However, is the Unkilkeli that these incipient sports and direct influence modern, the close disease in European history are the games based in the Jungs, Britons, and French, the latter under name of Cell. These names were commonly played during carnivals and British Isles occasions in which entire village may participate. The Italians had the clearest precedent of all. Florentine calcio, less violent, and British variant, the more organization than the French ones, consistent of the them 27 players each practice from the 17th centuries onwards, and the 1518 Giovanni Bardi present for the formal set rules. Strictly speaking, from the modern story of the begins in the Great Britain in the century in the 19th century, when the first influential roles in the carnival football emerged, begin to play it in school association outside of festivals and pirates. In fact, In 1863, in Cambridge College, rules of the game formed the basical current rules code, also incorporating elements from Sheffield style of the place. Thus, we thus said the use a 30 rules. Modern was promoted by newly created Football Association or FAA. The term soccer derived from association and sucks also originated the those same years and the first league competition in history. The Football League was founded in 1818. Its sum was raised and now funds the personal FAA players. Towards in the 19th begins on the 20th centuries, English-style football had spread throughout Europe and then on the continents, partly thanks to the European colonial system and the trade with the newly formed American Republic. The first American league was Argentine in 1891, and the first international match outside of the European was played between Argentina and Uruguay in 1991. In contrast, economic conditions in Asia prevent football from leaving the Purple University until well to 18 no, fue pucha, 1918. In 1904 in Paris, the Federation Internationale of Football Association FIFA was founded. The big football represents from the 8 different cultures: French, Belgium, Denmark, Spain, the Netherlands, Sweden, Switzerland, and Germany. This object was to manage a European match not affiliated with Great Britain and the Ireland, who initially rejected the existence of global football governing body. The first FIFA and World Cup is played in 1930, become the biggest sport event in the world. Later come the International Cup in 1917 in South American Copa Libertadores, and the European Championship Women's Football emerged professionally after World War I, when the women's participation in the society and the workspace increased. Now, I talk to